All right, so I guess the best place to start is the end of the
Mhm.
government shutdown, and what kind of with the potential for a weird but maybe almost respectably shrewd angle that Democrats might have actually taken to end this shutdown. Um, One that I disagree with,
I hope
but
there's truth to that.
it's it's hard to imagine that there's truth to it. Honestly,
Yeah, for sure.
it's almost like it's almost like huffing hopium here, but I recognize there's no way it actually happened. But just a brief overview
Yeah.
of the whole shutdown process.
Hit me.
So, um, it's worth noting before the government was actually shut down on the 1st of October, um, we had Mike Johnson basically send the House out. The House is in recess, and
Yeah.
Adelita Grijalva was elected in Arizona to the House of Representatives on September 23rd, and only very recently got sworn in because the House was in recess. So we know for about 12 days, I think, the House was in recess before the government was even shut down. So
Yeah.
the one thing that is really important when looking at the government shutdown situation is that from day one, not only did Donald Trump and Mike Johnson say they weren't negotiating, Mike Johnson put the House in a situation where there could not be negotiations. The only sessions
Oh, yeah, they made it
of the House,
impossible.
they made it completely impossible. The only sessions of the House that were happening at all were pro forma. It's basically just gavel in, gavel out, like the House still exists kind of sessions, and that's literally it.
Yeah. I believe there
And
were some very specific, subcommittees and whatnot that still had necessary functionary duties,
well, and
if I
and
recall.
Johnson did make a big deal about saying that, hey, Hakeem Jeffries wants to say that I've sent House Republicans on vacation, but House Republicans are still doing their job in these committees and in their home districts, whatever. Couldn't be specific on any of that shit at all. But you are correct, though, that there are still, even though they're not getting together to vote, they still have committee obligations and things like that. And frankly speaking, there's fundraising and things like that electeds will do as well. So, like, surely people were doing more than
It's
just
part of the
jerking off,
job,
but
sadly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, they were
uh,
jerking off and making money.
yeah. But at the same time, they were
Probably
definitely
jerking
not.
off onto piles of money, I don't know.
Well, and they definitely were not showing up to a session of the House ready to vote after a spirited debate on a continuing resolution for funding the government. Like
They were
there
not doing
wasn't
that.
even they these people are I get into this later. It kind of leads into like talking about the filibuster, which I think is actually a big part of what
Uh-huh.
happened here. Um, but like the filibuster is stupid as fuck, right? Because no, the in this partisan, shrewd, preening
Yeah.
legislative era, like nobody is going to like no senator is going to be persuaded by a spirited speech over 24 hours by somebody in their opposition. It's just not going to fucking happen in this day and age.
No, never.
And
Now that cause could gain a popular groundswell. Give you that like historical analogy, Mr. Smith goes to Washington, whatever, or like, oh my gosh, this filibuster that he's doing, I see the merit behind all of that. Oh yeah. Then there's popular momentum behind whatever passing, or at least getting the exposure that it deserves.
right.
But that's not fucking real life these days. And like, if man, I've been saying forever, if you're gonna keep that fucking anachronistic thing around, make people actually do it. Don't just like It's say play the I declare filibuster card, and nobody has to do anything. No, you have to fucking stand there, get up there, and die on that hill. If you want to use the filibuster, fucking be prepared to use it.
I'm
Be
gonna
ready for a war of fucking attrition.
so circling back from that same idea, I think there is again, just because the House gets together in session, right? Like Mike Johnson bringing the House together in session doesn't necessarily mean that the House is actually going to have a spirited debate and actually make
Do
some deal there.
anything, yeah.
But at the same time, you are dealing with hundreds of people with hundreds of, at least in micro ways, somewhat differing interests, even if it's only for their own self-aggrandizement. Because
Mhm.
even if we just assume that everybody in the House of Representatives is a complete fucking sociopathic narcissist, like if we
They
just
all
make
have their own self-serving agenda.
yeah, it's gonna
A lot of those agendas overlap into one group together or another, but yeah, they all have their own self-serving agenda, and each and every one of them would sell out every one of the others for
mm,
I
yeah,
don't know,
even
fucking
if we
really low
assume it's just
market.
the Thunderdome, um, you still have room to make a deal that's outside of like you still have room to maneuver. There's still negotiations that could legitimately be had because honestly, who fucking knows if conversations were going on for a while? Who fucking knows what idea would have come out of for in a terrible example, Hakeem Jeffries' head,
Yeah,
right? Like who fucking knows? Instead, what we ended up getting,
real idea man right there. Real idea man.
but instead, what we end up getting
Yeah, what did
is
we get?
we got so House is in recess before the government shutdown. Government shuts down on October 1st. Democrats beat the ever living fuck out of Republicans in several states, sweeping virtually every
Across
noteworthy election
everywhere.
everywhere, everywhere,
Every
because
noteworthy, every non-noteworthy. It was as close to a clean slate fucking victory, or at least overperformance in every race across the country, essentially.
it is one of the few times that I can recall the entire Democratic Party being on one message, and the entire. I mean, outside of like two people in the House and one senator, being John Fetterman, who did end up still siding on major votes for a long time, siding with Senate Democrats. Um, he only really lapsed and joined Republicans on a very early procedural one, and then at the end. But
Yeah.
uh, you've got the Democrats just destroy in this election, and so
Yeah, okay.
but they win this election because they're on this one message about
Yeah.
ACA subsidies, with Bernie Sanders being out there openly saying like, yeah, I'm fighting for this, but I'm telling you right now it's not enough. We need to do better than this. But if we don't have this, it's even
Yeah.
worse. If it's even worse than having it.
Yeah.
So by a magnitude, we're talking millions and millions of people, and
Yeah.
potentially the entire
Tens of
uh,
millions of people.
and potentially the entire health insurance industry as a whole
Yeah.
taking
The
this kind
health
of
insurance,
shock.
and not just the insurance, but like the actual on the ground health care
Mhm,
marketplace. Like that
mhm.
could really fucking collapse. You're throwing some monkey wrenches into some big moving parts in the economy.
And this is all after or no, sorry, this is just before. I apologize. This is just before, I think. Damn it, my cat. One second.
No worries.
Climbing on my computer and being a turd. She's mad that I closed this window back here. Anyways, um, so
Oh,
going
kitty
back,
cat.
so this is all right when the this Trump shutdown supersedes the previous longest shutdown in the history of this country under Trump's first administration. We're talking 35 days for that first one. And
And
Democrats.
there's a lovely video and more than one quotes of Mr. Trump himself saying that if a shutdown happens on the president's watch, it's the president's fault.
It's the president's fault.
Pretty
It's
definitively.
the
In
president's
no
fault.
uncertain terms has he staked that position. And he now owns the two longest shutdowns in government history, both entirely avoidable and also incredibly harmful.
Incredibly
So,
harmful. And
well done.
so we've got the longest running shutdown in history. Democrats destroying Republicans because they're staying on message that Republicans own the government. They can end this shutdown if they want to. They don't want to without us voting for it. We're not going to vote for it because it doesn't include these ACA subsidies. Also, battles about issues with Medicare and issues with SNAP ongoing for 40 days. I think it's actually 42 days. And then
Forget.
we get to go ahead, take it away. What do you do with all of that momentum as the Democratic Party? What do
Oh,
you do, Travis,
oh
if you're
man.
Chuck Schumer and you're staring at victory right in the face? What do you do?
Say, listen here, Victory. You don't know Chuck Schumer. I'm going to give up. Whatever you want, take it all. Let me pack for you.
Pack your lunch.
Oh, did we fuck that up that bad? Oh, in that fucking moment, you have so much momentum. You have the country unified at your fucking back. You do that for fucking nothing.
You've got
Like
momentum
this
that
is
you can
almost the
legitimately
most. This is
carry.
almost the biggest.
You could carry that to the midterms. You could carry that momentum to
Yes,
the midterms.
that's not that far away. You could ride that energy, ousting these motherfuckers. You could ride that energy to ending this fucking nightmare. But they didn't. They capitulated at the oddest fucking time, which does nothing but give the ammunition. It shows them that yes, we are weak, and they're not willing to defend their positions. And it shows their voters that no, they're not willing to stand up for this and do what we're all unifiedly telling them. Yes, we are behind you on this. This is the right thing to do. Do the opposite of that, and you give Trump and Johnson and all that, like,
Even the biggest
sell us all
idiot,
collect like, this is the yeah,
like
this is the
even
biggest proof to me that, like, that they are fucking the loyal opposition, like,
controlled opposition. Yeah. Yep.
control I mean, there's nothing almost that makes sense outside of a few in the party that seem to actually be doing it for the right reasons. But, yeah, like, make it make sense any other way.
I can try to do that actually.
Please try,
I
please,
have
I'm
I
so
have an
ready for it.
angle.
I I need that in my life so bad.
I'm not going to say that this is what's happening because, frankly speaking, the Democratic establishment, that leadership has shown me time and time again that we are, much like with the president, not working with some mastermind manipulator, some shrewd negotiator, some deep thinker that is playing 18-dimensional chess, but rather we're talking about somebody who stumbles upwards, fails upwards into their success, fails upwards into their position. So, all right, yeah. So pulling back out of the rabbit hole we were in, and kind of
Huh?
reset a bit. So, yeah, I think part of the idea potentially, again, it'd be impossible for me to believe this, but I like was fully the idea, like fully the math that happened. But I think that
Mhm,
some
mhm.
of this had to be in place somewhere in some of these negotiations. But protecting the filibuster. It's important, I think, for the Democratic establishment to protect the filibuster because one, they are perversely married to institution and tradition, whether it's
Yes.
codified in the Constitution or not. Which, in the case of the filibuster, it is not. It is a procedural rule of the Senate. Um, it you know. It doesn't mean anything because like
They will
anymore,
slit their own throats if procedure tells them to. Like
right?
it's yeah.
Well, and like you were saying before, like it'd be great if if they did, if the filibuster existed with a person standing and speaking and whatever. But like I had mentioned, I don't think that's ever going to mean anything to anybody that's actually voting in the
No,
Senate. You've got 100
not
people
really, no.
that you got 100 people in this room, and I, at least 90 of them are probably some of the scariest people you'd ever want to be caught in a fucking dark alley with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just
Mm, you'd want to be caught in an elevator with, honestly.
yeah,
Ugh.
really, just people
Dark
you would
alley, I could deal with them, but like,
people you wouldn't want in your life at all.
yeah,
Let's say, and
good broad stroke. Yeah,
and the filibuster largely exists as like a way for establishment Democrats to make an excuse for why they can't pass any sort of like meaningful progressive legislation through the Senate. And it also protects the Republicans a little bit from rabid impulses in their base, by being able to make a supermajority be required for maybe some of
Ye-
the more insane things that could have happened. This is maybe pre-Trump, more of a
it does kind of
consideration pre-Trump,
did
but
protect them from themselves, I suppose. Yeah, there's a certain
it,
element to that.
there's something about a simple majority vote compared to the supermajority that it
Yeah,
really it really cements how much control you would need to have over your party, and also how unlikely it would, like how I think it would also kind of erode this constant theme that I'm thinking about and talking about here of uh a party that is too deeply unified behind one particular message or messenger at all times, and is not looking out for their local constituents in any kind of way. That's not actually taking into their mind their local constituents. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, the fact of the matter is, also, if Republicans did find themselves, if they did nuke the filibuster completely, if they didn't just find some really narrow way to nuke a part of it as opposed to a more broad opening up and removal of the filibuster as a whole, um,
yeah,
even if we maintain an environment where it's slightly more difficult for Senate Republicans to pass some of Trump's agenda, anything that Trump wants, he's just going to do through the executive.
yeah. Or just do and dare somebody to stop him. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we've seen how well that works. I mean, like ICE is basically openly operating in defiance of court orders
Mm-hmm.
in various places.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well,
once,
yeah. I was just thinking about the Trump v. Casa stuff, where about kind of like universal injunctions, specifically on like stays of deportation and things
yeah,
like that. And like, are they eroding the ability for there to be like universal federal injunctions, um, or even statewide injunctions that stays on deportation orders, and specifically so that people have to explicitly
yeah,
be named, explicitly appeal for a deportation stay, and it just gums up the judicial works when you're talking about all these people trying to stay in the country because they've been snatched up out of the fucking street by some unmarked
Yeah,
masked
it
asshole with
was
an assault
done
rifle.
intentionally. Yeah, that was done intentionally to gum up the works for, I think, those in the lower margins of society. Like,
Hmm.
not just immigration courts, but like another way to funnel control and money upwards. Like, it's
Mhm. But yeah, like there's nothing, and also when it comes to powers that we generally defer to Congress, when it comes to powers of the purse, powers of the budget, Donald Trump has had no issue with saying, "Listen, this thing that you voted to fund, I'm just not going to send money to it. Have
yeah,
fun,
yeah,
moving on.
yeah,
Fuck you.
yep.
That's going to
Budget,
build
no,
me
that's
a new
my thing now.
ballroom."
Like,
I'm confident that a lot of that money is going into ballroom shit, and like
a
weird
lot of that
grand
ballroom
projects.
shit has got to be money laundering.
Maybe that's
It's
possible
got to
too.
be
That's
some
possible
weird
too.
shit, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I can't be discounted at all. That is would be par for the course, if nothing else. Would for Donald Trump's course, his golden golf course.
Yeah, it's something unethical at the very least. Like, I don't know specifically what flavor, but it's something
It's
bad
fucked up.
and heinous and gross.
So okay, so back to the shrewd calculations potentially of Senate Democrats. Chuck Schumer here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So protecting the filibuster, I disagree with it. They want to keep it. That math had to be there somewhere in Chuck Schumer's mind, in my opinion. That's the one that I'm most confident was really there. But I also think that there's
Yeah.
some amount of Chuck Schumer knowing that if the House has to return to session, Adelita Grijalva is sworn in. So I feel like Schumer may have considered that Adelita Grijalva was going to be sworn in, and we already knew what she's going to do. She told us explicitly in her swearing in ceremony speech what she was going to do, what she was bringing to the House of Representatives.
And while we celebrate this moment today, our American promise is under serious threat. Basic freedoms are under attack. Healthcare premiums are skyrocketing. Babies are being ripped away from their parents by masked agents. We can and must do better. What is most concerning is not what this administration has done, but what the majority in this body has failed to do. Hold Trump accountable as a co-equal branch of government that we are. It has been 50 days since the people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District elected me to represent them. 50 days that over 800,000 Arizonans have been left without access to the basic services that every constituent deserves. This is an abuse of power. One individual should not be able to unilaterally obstruct the swearing in of a duly elected member of Congress for political reasons. Our democracy only works when everyone has a voice. This includes the millions of people across the country who have experienced violence and exploitation, including Liz Stein and Jessica Michaels, both survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. They are here in the gallery with us this evening. Thank you for being here. Just this morning, House Democrats released more emails showing that Trump knew more about Epstein's abuses than he previously acknowledged. It's past time for Congress to restore its role as a check and balance on this administration and fight for we, the American people. We need to fight for our immigrant communities and veterans. We need to stand up for our public schools, children, and educators. We need to respect tribal sovereignty in our environment. We need to stand up for LGBTQ plus rights, because that's what the American people expect us to do. Fight for them. That is why I will sign the discharge petition right now to release the Epstein files.
That's fucking boss. Fucking boss.
And the
Justice
ovations are
cannot
there.
wait another day. Adelante, mi gente. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. I yield back.
And I gotta say, I'll turn it over to you there. But obviously, the before even she gave this speech, the document drop, the email drop, and the momentum that this brings, and that she ended this speech that has been very widely, broadcast. Obviously, for standard stock libs, this is like pure candy. For me, it's pure candy. I think for everybody in the offensive left, it's pure candy in every way. You can't stop devouring it, and that's the last thing she said.
Unless you're like Chuck Schumer in the establishment, you're a little bit scared because anything that threatens your establishment power is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she ended with the Epstein files, like talking about signing the discharge petition. And I think that Schumer knew this is going to happen. He knew this is going to happen. Yeah. And the Epstein files so far, in my opinion, have provided a lot of cover outside of the reasonably aggrieved that people that I agree with left. It's given a lot of cover to Democrats on ending the shutdown in the way that they did.
On fucking that up, yeah.
Yeah. Because
thank goodness for that, I guess.
But I think that's part of that has to be part of the math, right? Like it's
but still though, what that still doesn't show me what did you gain? Like, it gave you cover for the loss, but you never needed to take the loss to begin with. Like, it still doesn't.
Well, the filibuster again, from Schumer's perspective, the filibuster, and also appeasing some narrow swath of moderate voters, I guess, or people that maybe want to reasonably walk away from the Republican Party. Again, I can't imagine who these people are in Schumer's mind or any like Democratic like establishment, like an analyst's mind. But appeasing some group of people that's like, well, at the end of the day, the Democrats made they gave it their best shot, and they still made the practical choice to reopen the government. Like, there's one person in the country who's now going to vote for a Democrat that wouldn't have otherwise. Out of
yeah.
One.
That's they trot that same chestnut out all the time. Like, yes, we have to appease. No, we don't. We can ignore that one voter if we get 4 other voters over here. Like, that voter doesn't need to be leading the direction of the party just because that voter has always been a big constituent of the party. Like, like let's let the more accurate representation of the people Your representation.
Yeah, I mean, yes, but again, like if we're thinking about it from like this is me trying to rationalize it from Schumer's perspective, because there's no way you can rationalize it to me from my perspective, like from my point of view. It's stupid. It doesn't make any
No,
fucking sense. You've already dragged the public through this long, through 40 days of this fucking insanity, and it is proving to work. And you're not talking about just
yeah,
winning these elections. You're talking about potentially, yeah, like you said, winning the fucking midterms and ending
fucking
this
existential.
shit. It's existential.
Existential.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you throw it away for fucking nothing. That's what just if they would have gotten something tangible in return. Yeah. Like you can say that we saved the filibuster, yay, or maybe there's some Machiavellian turn that we're not seeing yet.
Hmm.
But how could you not have negotiated not getting anything to fucking hang your hat on and show people, hey, we at least got X amount of dollars thrown towards WIC, or we got this amount of money restored back to USAID, or something done
Any
for like a temporary little stopgap, cover the people who the Obamacare thing, like something for those people, and give the Republicans that cover. Hey, all right, you've been wanting to repeal and replace. It's gone. The dog finally caught the car. Now do something.
hmm
Here's your
hmm
cover. We're gonna give you a little bit of time because doing something is better than nothing for the American people. So
hmm Yeah,
you
there's
could
there's
have
a lot of there's a lot of
put
room
the
to go a bit
onus
aggressive.
on them to fix it. Like you
Yeah.
guys broke it. Here it is. Give us a tiny little stopgap so these people don't get fucked in the process. And show us what you got.
Well, and
Put it out
honestly, you know, I'll say this: as much as I agree with you there, that even that is maybe trying too hard. They didn't actually have to do anything except
there.
for do what they were already doing and keep saying, "Hey, guess
Yeah.
what? These people own the Senate right now. They could change the rule. They could nuke the filibuster and do this if they wanted to, and dare them to be willing to give
Yeah.
that up.
The country
Be,
was on your side. Momentum was on your side. It was going to keep going that way. Things were only going to get better for you from there.
Mhm, mhm.
Why right then and right there? Fucking cave. It just does not make any sense.
Well, so
I can't wrap my head around it. I still can't even.
well, and that it's like such a what another part of the whole thing that just firmly establishes to me that these are largely the vast majority of the Democratic establishment is largely a controlled opposition movement, controlled opposition party that maybe sometimes in the past hedged against the worst impulses of belligerent reactionaries in the Republican Party sometimes. But the biggest example of how like gross and corrupt this vote was is who they chose to
Yeah,
give allowance to vote on the other side. And I've got the list right here.
just pull that up.
It's
I bet we could find some
we got John
unifying
Fetterman,
characteristics about them.
who frankly should be in the process of being removed from office because of overt brain damage. The
For a
personality
multitude of
change
reasons, but yeah,
that this
that one,
guy like, and not just the personality, the danger he's legitimately put. We're talking about a guy that's like
the dude just fell on his face a
crazily.
couple of days ago. Like,
Uh, he's also like crazily driving down the highway with his family in the car, like erratically. And
Yeah.
this is after
Yeah.
this horrific what is it? He had a it was technically a stroke,
Stroke.
right?
Yeah, I
Something, yeah, I
believe
forget
so.
exactly what is specifically what it was. But after the stroke, basically, he's seems to be different, at least different enough. I don't think he
Yeah.
was some great socialist savior by any means, but he was
No, but he was
definitely
just firm blue collar union-y, true blue, and like, man, he's taking a really antagonistic turn. Like
hmm,
it's almost like somebody that they I can't remember. I think it's glioblastoma. It's a certain type of brain tumor, and it's typically diagnosed by changes in someone's personality.
hmm,
They become more aggressive and temperamental and short-tempered,
hmm.
and that's often how that type of brain tumor is found by noticing that behavior change in people. Not to say
Eh,
that's what's going on with him, but there's similar there's
right.
kind of parallels there.
There appears to be some sort of similar change in his personality as a result of this uh
Yeah.
traumatic health event. And and in our great gerontocracy, though, that's not even going to be fucking observed. Like,
Yeah.
how many strokes does Nancy Pelosi have on a daily basis? Who could tell you? I mean,
Dude, fucking look at Mitch McConnell. My gosh, that dude is a
yeah, yeah,
walking fucking corpse.
yeah, absolutely.
Like he's the
Um,
fucking crypt keeper.
Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada. I don't know a whole lot about. We do have some real winner. I honestly, I don't know why. I feel like I should. But we've got some
Mhm.
real winners to round it out. So we've got
Um,
Angus King, who's an independent from Maine that caucuses with the Democrats. Maggie
Pretty
Hassan
disappointed. That's one of the.
mm,
I don't know much about her, Maggie.
from New Hampshire. Um, there's actually both New Hampshire Democrats, Maggie Hassan and Jean Shaheen.
Yeah,
Uh, Tim Kaine, the wonderful Tim
yeah.
Kaine out of Virginia. Gary Peters, I believe that's Michigan, and Kirsten Gillibrand from New York. None of these people
Fucking Gillibrand.
actually. I've got. I was gonna give it away. What do all of these people have in common?
None of them are up for re-election next year. I won!
Yeah,
Yay!
I mean,
I'll
just
give their voters
honestly,
plenty of time to forget and move on past that whole issue. Oh man, yeah, the soundboard.
the
Where's it
sound.
been? You just
This is a
reminded
direct
me. Oh my
result
gosh,
of extraterrestrials.
in your butt.
In your But yeah, you are correct. None of these people face re-election until 2028, and that's if they aren't getting ready to retire.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, they fall back to a golden parachute of some sort, or even just like a nice cushy K Street job.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. It's fucking it's so with the choice of
Eh,
these people it's so naked. It's so it doesn't matter
Yeah,
that Chuck Schumer voted no. It doesn't matter that Chuck Schumer voted no.
yeah.
It's
We
obvious what
all
happened.
know you orchestrated this, Chuck. You don't get out of that because you got to vote no on it. No,
Mhm.
no,
Mhm.
no, Chuckle. No, that is not how that works. We're not idiots. God, that person. He might be the most destructive
him and
Definitely the most
McConnell, him and probably
destructive.
McConnell for a long time.
Jesus, that is
Johnson's really
such a
doing his
two-headed
work too.
snake right there.
Yeah, I have this note here actually for Schumer. This motherfucker loses most easy battles because he won't even show up, and then when he finally does show up, he forfeits. His vote against the Senate bill
Yeah.
is not a legitimate claim against his support for ending the shutdown. Everyone knows that votes on the floor are the end result of backroom wheeling and dealing. And the vote after this much time on a subject that requires party unity at a national level, especially to spread that specific message that basically virtually every Democrat that was soaking up any meaningful mainstream news time was spreading. Rather than a narrow focus on direct constituents, it's a reflection of the values of party leadership, that they had to unify the Democrats for so long, and then for 7 of them, and then a Democratic caucusing independent to just all with what, again, that one very specific fun attribute of not being up for re-election in 2026. I mean, it's
I can see why they would, because they got a promise of a vote in the future.
well. Let's talk about what Democrats actually did
I
get.
don't want to gloss over this. We did get something out of this. They promised. They promised they would vote on this.
They
Senate, not necessarily in the House. They never promised they'd make the House do anything, but they promised that they would hold a Senate vote for them. So
I gotta tell you,
we might be jumping to conclusions here. We might be pushing a little too hard. Let's.
I mean, you know, the promise of something that you'll never get is pretty great. I think that if there's anybody's promise that you can, what's his middle name here? I got to look up his middle name. If there's anybody's promise
Ooh,
that you could ever trust, it's going to be one
Michael
John.
Bryan.
What's his middle name? I wanted his middle name so badly.
Okay.
It's one John Thune. If
Oh,
there's somebody's promise that you
yeah.
can really trust,
Oh no, it's something super waspy. It's like Jonathan Vanderbilt or something.
Jonathan Vanderbilt, dude. What is your middle name, sir? Sir, what is your middle name?
Vanderbilt, good sir.
I bet it's like John Jimmy Thune. John. No, you're right. You're actually right. John Randolph Thune.
Ha Excelsior!
You
Oh,
actually
jeez.
nailed it. Oh my gosh.
Knew
Randolph.
it. Randolph. It's
Uh,
like Charleston, Emerson, Winchester there.
we got to do the
That's
mashup.
kind of that's where my head was at, like that level of
Yes.
waspiness. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. They got the promise of a vote on for the ACA subsidies.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to happen in December. It's not going to pass the Senate, but even if it does, yeah, like Johnson's already said, he's not going to be bringing this shit up in the House. He's just not going to do it.
Yep.
Job well done, assholes. Like what?
Yeah.
What did you get again?
You got a promise of nothing. Yeah.
Like
Jesus. You
it's
fucking played yourself so hard.
it was their
Like,
core. It was their core. Like it was the cornerstone of their negotiations. It was the core message. It was the thing that they first put and
It was
most
the
stuck with
entire
in the
thing.
mainstream media of what the ACA subsidies was the thing. There were other things. There were other smaller things
Yeah. For
as
sure.
far as their broader impact, but the ACA subsidies was the thing that they led this whole fight on, and they get nothing. I mean, that is on its own. That is exactly why it's not at all surprising that there are calls within the party as well as without, as well as on the fringes of it, and into even parts of the establishment for Schumer to get the fuck out. You get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here.
Those need
Fuck outta here.
to just continue to fucking grow. And I think everyone of any good conscience is. And again, like I know I brought him up on a number of occasions in these conversations. But Chris Murphy, again, like immediately after this, he put out a video that just very concisely laid out exactly what had happened.
Mhm.
And man, it did not sugarcoat anything. It was like, guys,
Yeah.
I can't explain it. This is bad. This was really bad. I can't tell you why it was so bad, but yeah, I appreciate that there are people like him and a few select others, but it seems to be it. Why are there so few that are really openly rallying and like not fucking sugarcoating things and like
Yeah,
I guess there are very a few players on the team that don't realize they're the Washington Generals.
it's okay. So it's hard to show up in fake enthusiasm for something you don't believe in, and it's easy to fake enthusiasm for milk toast bullshit, democratic, everyday nonsense, Democratic Party everyday nonsense, because it doesn't require any emotional input. It requires
No.
only an adherence to tradition
It's a sales pitch.
and showing up for Black History Month with with a fucking scarf and taking a knee and acting like that helps
Exactly.
anybody. Acting like that helped
Uh-huh.
fucking anybody ever. Like
Yeah.
it's corporate. It's like when Target releases fucking uh Pride merch, and then next year is like, you know what, gay people, go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. Like it's like it's you know it's just the weakest simpering flowing with the wind. No principles,
Yeah.
not a fucking principle to be found in
An
in a
absolute lack.
single one of these fucking people. Not a
Yeah.
principle to be found.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost impressive that they managed to continually find so many people that are so amoral and are willing to do this job and lead this lifestyle just for fucking what? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you can make decent money, but you can make money in things other than politics. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe it's because I'm not a sociopath.
You gotta work on that shit.
That must be my problem. Yeah,
That
I gotta
is the
fix that.
problem.
Gotta fix that.
Um,
Better get on that.
uh, also, I mean, that's the sum total of what the Democrats got. Let's start with that.
Yeah.
They protected the
Uh-huh.
filibuster. They did ensure that the House would come back to session, which would release which would bring the Epstein
Release the
files,
Epstein file. So there
and
is
and
that. There.
and they didn't need Grijalva to sign the discharge petition. That's different. The Democrats were legitimately sitting on a release. The discharge petition wasn't like that. That is, as far as I understand, that is for a vote to happen that
Okay.
has not occurred yet. The discharge petition
Yes.
didn't just enable them to immediately release these files. The file that shit it was mentioned in Grijalva's speech. The file that shit was already released in that day. So I'm not saying how long they had it, but there is a timing that goes along with this too. And
Yes.
this drop
Well,
is strategic. There's no doubt in my mind that it's strategic, and it times very nicely to like it's part of what like ending the shutdown this way enabled them to do it like this.